Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction, haunted entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. We return to you once again. Whether you are catching, well, you can't be catching us live this week. We haven't returned to live recording yet.
Right.
But you could be catching us Monday when we post the recordings. Or you could be catching us anytime thereafter. We greatly appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to sit with us, chat, and hear me rant about murdering the chipmunks.
It is the season.
It is the season. Yes, I now have the reputation as the chipmunk hater, so if the chipmunks end up dead, if Alvin, Simon, Theodore end up dead, I apparently will be suspect numero uno.
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely take a moment and do, if you have not done so, please do subscribe. You can find us at hauntweekly.com or hauntweekly on Twitter, hauntweekly on Facebook, youtube.com/hauntweekly is the YouTube channel. Not a lot of people listen to it there. That's okay. Listen to it wherever is convenient for you, but I really do think a lot of you would do better with the YouTube version, just because of the convenience. But you can always find us at Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts from. Happy to have you wherever you may have located us. Well, look, y'all, it has been an interesting and long week. We are queuing up for the holiday weekend here in these United States. Thanksgiving week, is upon us.
Yeah.
This will be going live the Monday before, and we're looking forward personally to some downtime.
Yeah.
Though we'll be very busy during said downtime, it'll be downtime.
Yeah, I don't know what downtime means.
Yeah. We got a lot of cleaning to do. We are apparently buying a car, finally.
Yes.
The accident October 4th. We have not obtained a replacement car yet.
Yeah, but we are test driving one on Tuesday, so hopefully
it's very, very promising. If the financing and everything is good, we'll have a new car, and it will be way better than the old one. We won't go bankrupt doing it.
Yes.
Basically, that's the stated goal, right?
Yes, it is.
Get a car, don't go bankrupt doing it, have the car be better than the previous one.
Yeah.
I think we achieved those three things. We done good for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, indeed. But it has, like I said, it's been a busy, busy week as we queue up for it. And last week, I want to revisit the question of the week last week. We had a good one. We had an episode about hauntings during Poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
A great Sega Genesis game that is a ton of fun, but also very, very haunt relevant because you're basically a ghost scaring people out of a home.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what you are as a haunter.
Kind of, yeah.
If you think about it. So we asked last week, what are some video games that you suggest haunters play? And of course, one person suggested immediately, no video games, get back to building, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has to do something with their downtime. But yeah, Sam Farrell, I really liked his list. He said Condemned, Criminal Origins, and the OG Silent Hills 1 and 2. Excellent on all fronts. And I should have mentioned Condemned Criminal Origins when we were talking about horror video games previously. I think we might have.
Yeah.
Because it is a real moody game, and also it teaches a lot about room design, how in that game you always know where forward is.
Right.
Even though it still looks very organic and very natural.
Very cool.
So that was a good one. We had a bunch of others too. I'm seeing who else stands out right now. Oh, Max said Dead by Daylight. That is a great one too. Let's see. Chase Street, the Outlast series. That does sound fun. I have no idea why Jerry Ferraccio said Super Mario Brothers. I have no idea. It is a great game. Oh, no,
Tunnels.
It is a great game. And I have to say, John Jeffries has me tempted here. Dread Halls in VR. We have the PlayStation VR for the PlayStation 4. I'll have to see if it's available.
Yeah.
Because we have not done nearly enough with the VR. It was a lot of fun. But it's also a lot of overhead to set it up and get it working and not die due to cats under your foot. I don't know. But anyways, a lot of great suggestions. Thank you all for those. And that brings us to this week's question of the week. And it's a very, very simple one.
Yeah.
Last year, pretty much everyone got an excuse to not travel for Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
COVID, ironclad excuse.
Yeah.
Lockdowns, can't go. And literally, you couldn't go because if you had left the state, I think, you would have been in quarantine for 2 weeks.
The city.
The city. If you left the city, you would have been in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that would not have worked with your new job.
Right.
And Ellie, of course, with her and her job in banking, we always have an ironclad excuse not to go anywhere because she can't leave because was Thanksgiving's followed by Black Friday, busy shopping day, and she's got to make sure those credit card transactions process.
Yeah.
Kind of an important fucking job.
It is.
So be grateful that we don't travel. We do it for you.
Yeah, when you're spending those dollars, you're thinking of Ellie having to just process all of that.
Every time you swipe a credit card over Black Friday weekend, just remember there's about a 25 to 33% chance that transaction passed through my living room at one point.
Yeah.
So yeah, just something to think about. But anyways, that brings us to the question, what are your travel plans, if there are any, for this week? Are you guys staying close to home? Are you getting out there?
Mm-hmm.
If so, how is this year different than last year, basically, is what I'm kind of focusing on.
Yeah.
Because I'm very curious personally, because it's also going to deal directly into how haunt season does, especially the Christmas haunt season that's coming up, and on into, because we're seeing a lot of haunts opening up for Christmas this year.
Yeah.
And some are even planning Valentine's Day shows, but also for traditional haunt season 2022. All right. Well, before we dive into this week's topic, which is, because it's an episode divisible by 4, we're doing the news. And I am excited about it. We got a lot of great news to get into. But first thing is first, we have conference reminders. I guess I'll kick off this week. All right, coming up January 11th through the 13th in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Halloween and Party Expo. It is a giant trade show of Halloween and related products. A great show to get on the floor of, especially if you want to keep track of trends, see what animatronics and what characters are doing well, and what's going to be really big. It's mostly for bulk buyers, but there are some that do cash and carry for haunters and individuals. And HauntCon, the conference that is usually co-located with it, is postponed for 2022. They have not made an announcement last I've seen. So yes, check out more at HalloweenExpo.com is the domain. I'll double check that.
Shortly after that, January 21st through the 23rd, it's Fear Expo Live at the Owensboro Convention Center in Kentucky. It features a trade show, an overnight haunt tour, and Friday after party. FearExpoLive.com for more info.
Quick correction on Halloween and Party Expo. It's HalloweenPartyExpo.com. I forgot a word.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween Party, because the domain wasn't long enough with Halloween Expo. It has to be Halloween Party Expo.
Yes.
Okay. See, Fear Expo Live. That's a good short one. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. After that, February 19th through the 20th in Pomona, California, it's Haunt X, the DIY Haunters and Halloween Expo at the Fairplex Building 9. Features an asylum costume party on Saturday the 19th, as well as lots of other great festivities. Get your DIY on at hauntx.com.
Okay. March 17th through the 20th, Transworld Halloween and Attraction Show will be in St. Louis, Missouri at the America Center. It is co-located with their Christmas show and escape room conference. They're still waiting to announce what's going on, but you can find out when they do at haashow.com. That's HAASHOW.
And finally for this week, July 29th through the 31st in Savannah, Georgia. It's the Southeast Hollows Haunt Convention. There will be magicians doing demos on them. I'm assuming doing demos, not demons.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That would be a really interesting floor show.
What about the floor show? Yeah. So no, sadly, the magician will be doing demos, not demons. I'm deeply sorry for those that I just sold on the conference. I was going to go too.
That's a very different conference.
Very different conference. There will also be a masquerade ball. You can learn more at SEHHC. That's SEHHC.com.
Yes.
Don't make that one easy. All right. So, anyways, as usual with episodes of Visible by 4, we cover the latest and greatest haunted attraction news, and as is far too often the case here, we start off with some pretty heavy news.
Yeah.
Crystal, you want to take the first story?
Sure.
That gives me the. Oh, God, I set myself up on that.
Parker Haunted House was destroyed in suspicious blaze in Parker, Colorado. This is by Alexia Carrasco of 9 News.
Yeah.
So a week before Halloween, Fright Acres Haunted House caught on fire. It looks like it was started on hay bales and spread to the haunted house structures.
Yeah, I've been trying to, we've read multiple articles, and there seems to be some difference in the descriptions here.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there's a field nearby.
Right.
That some jackasses were jackassing in.
Mm-hmm.
And they jackassed up a fire.
Yeah, exactly.
And that fire spread through hay bales to the building they had. So go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and it took 6 hours to put the fire out.
That is not a small amount of time.
It is not. However, they still opened for the season. I don't know how. You know how?
They continued with the attractions that were still standing. They had outdoor attractions they were able to work with. So, yeah, obviously very, very wounded by this, but they did manage to continue opening for the season. There were 2 individuals that were considered people of interest at this time who were caught on surveillance setting the fire, and they are being sought by authorities. That's the latest word. Yeah,
and longtime listener of the show, Chris Gay, also reported something that happened, some vandalism that happened at his haunt.
Yeah.
Similar jackassery was happening.
Yeah, I make no bones about being a pretty self-centered dude.
Yeah.
So, and it's just weird to me. Like, vandalism doesn't make any sense as a crime.
No.
Why are you destroying stuff, especially when you don't have a particular grudge against the person or the people? There's literally nothing gained by this kind of destruction. You can't even say it was done as part of a protest or whatever. It's just destroying stuff for fun.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Yeah, but there was not a news article that we could report on with that one, so we just kind of put it with this one.
Yeah. And then I will say Chris Gay noted in his Facebook post in Hunter's Hangouts where he posted about it.
Yeah.
That it seems like these types of incidents have been increasing in recent years, in particular as the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I have to agree. I think there is a lot of frustration. Mm-hmm. And I think there's also among the youths, to quote Randy Feldface, there's a lot of boredom. Mm-hmm. And, you combine frustration with boredom, people sometimes do dumb things. Now, when I combine frustration and boredom, I usually build websites that go nowhere or
become a career. One of those 2. I usually, make things, not destroy things. Yeah.
And I think that really comes down to kind of a personal choice for the individual facing those emotions. It's not, what you're feeling is wrong. It's how do you channel that energy? Mm-hmm. Do you channel it into destroying something that someone else has built and worked on? Or do you channel it into building something?
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes me mad, and it's just like, this is like the lowest form of crime to me. I would give me a good old robber or murderer any day of the week, over a damn vandal. Because at least their crimes make sense. I'm pissed at this guy. I'm going to kill him. I need money. I'm going to steal stuff. That makes sense. But vandalism, I'm weirdly apoplectic. I'm going to burn down a haunted house. It's just like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Seriously, go join your YMCA or something. Fuck off. Anything else. It's just, it always bothers me. Vandalism bothers me. Anyways, moving on, because we have the Vegas story in Haunt Weekly history.
No kidding.
And look, it's not for lack of effort on our part with this one. There was an incident at the KLA, I don't know if it's supposed to be KLAQ or KLAQ haunted house under investigation. Interestingly enough, the reporting is from a rival station in the area, or another station in the area, but it's by Jim Parker at KVIA. But basically, they run the shoot, I'm trying to remember the name. I had the name of the haunt in there, and it seems to have gotten moved. But yeah, they have a they have the longest running haunt in El Paso. And it is the haunted house. Now it was the haunted house of terror. Now it is the haunted houses of terror, because this year, bold move by the way to do it this year, they opened up a second location. The haunted houses of terror. Sorry, and they posted on their Instagram on the 28th, so 3 days before Halloween, that they've been alerted to a possible or an alleged incident at one of their attractions, and that they were cooperating with authorities on it.
Yeah.
That is literally the details. Now, I was not content to just report that. I dug a lot deeper on this one.
Yeah, because I looked for a few minutes and then said, hey, you do this while I finish the notes.
You had to assemble the rest of the notes. I was the one sent on this snipe hunt.
Yeah.
Where basically what I did is I went through the El Paso Sheriff's and the El Paso Police Department's records to try to find any reports of crimes that took place at either of the haunted attractions. Of the two haunts, one is located in El Paso, the city, and another one is just outside the city limits but rests in El Paso County. Just to make it good and confusing, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so I searched. I could not find anything that lined up. There was a report of an assault at one of the locations, but the date on the event was the 18th. Now I know from November 18th, and I know from experience that police reports, and a lot of experience recently, that police reports often take 3 weeks or more to go online. So it could be that was the reporting date. I don't know. I thought it was the incident date, but still, I could not find anything definitely linked to either location. And it's frustrating because why make a statement?
Yeah.
If you're not
why do anything? We wouldn't know anything about it if there were not a statement out there that I could find on Google News.
I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to do the thing where you try to keep it on the down low and you try not to talk about it, then don't talk about it. And if you're going to be transparent, which I personally believe is the better approach, then be transparent. Talk as much as you can about the incident. And if it's involving, obviously, in many cases, for the sake of the victim, you can't give a lot of details.
Right.
But you can do more than call it an incident.
Yeah.
And you can at least say which haunted house it was.
Yeah, it's really weird how vague they're being.
Yeah, it was.
And this is, several weeks later after the incident, and
yeah, we still have nothing.
No, there's nothing there.
No local news coverage at all, other than this article in KVIA, which is literally just 3 paragraphs.
Yeah.
So there's literally nothing to talk about there. And it's just so frustrating because if you're not going to talk about it, why'd you talk about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just such a bizarre thing to do.
Yes, I'm speechless and then ramble on forever.
Yeah, I might relate to that.
It's kind of like that.
Except they didn't ramble on forever. They rambled on for the exact wrong amount.
For like 3 words.
They rambled on just long enough to pop up on our news feeds and get our attention.
Yeah. But
not enough to actually... So now we just have all these horrible visions floating through our head about what happened.
It's going to be that horse.
Yeah, exactly. Did a dragon attack the haunt? I mean...
Yeah.
Did the ice giants come visit? I mean, what happened? I mean, yeah, it raises so many questions that either should have been just answered or never raised, in my opinion. But anyways, moving on.
Okay, so our next one...
Upbeat story.
It is. It's a very upbeat story. I'm trying to find where it's at because we didn't put this one in the notes. It is in Fairmount.
Yeah. Fairmount, Illinois, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this was about a local youth that got together to host a haunted house. This is their second year doing it. Oliver and Nola Thadens and their friends Season and Elizabeth Katwa created a haunted garage at Thadens' residence. They wanted to do it in addition or as an alternative to parties for kids their age. They said that most kids their age, in the early teens, are going to parties and they just wanted to do a haunted house. The first year they had about 120 visitors. No
real
news
marketing
on.
or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
and that was with
threw
no
it
marketing,
together
they just sort of
really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just nice to see kids getting into haunting and having a
Yeah.
good experience, and their parents are very supportive. They're talking about getting them a bigger place next year, since last year and this year went well. So all the luck to them.
Yeah, I did love this heartwarming story, and I was very grateful for it after trying to parse the non-incident incident.
Yeah.
This was such a nice change
Yeah.
for me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, like you said, it's great to see the younger people getting involved in haunting and getting involved specifically in home haunting.
Yeah.
Which is a craft I do worry is dying, or is at the very least.
Yeah.
Because every time we mention, oh yeah, we run the home haunt in Huntley Village. Every time we do it, someone says, "Oh yeah, there used to be a house right here that had a guy, and he had a haunt in his garage, and there's Jim Bob up that way who had a house." You always hear that. It's like, yeah, but they ain't there no more.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the dance in town.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating. So yeah, it's good to see kids getting involved. It looks like they're doing some awesome work. And I'm going to warn these kids now, if they happen to be listening to this by some chance, I know that in this article you mentioned, like, yeah, we started in August and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to change.
Yeah.
You always think, oh, we'll just be in August, September, October. No.
Yeah,
Next thing you know, you're running a podcast and we're doing 300 plus fucking episodes.
Yeah, no, we've recently switched to doing most of our work over the Christmas break because it's the biggest break.
And the weather's better.
And the weather's better. Yeah.
I'd rather
definitely.
I'd rather not die. And we get a huge break from like mid-December and early January.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect time to do it. And it's just cool weather. Well, relatively cool. It is New Orleans still.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just a great time for us to get as much work done, especially any of the big construction, heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Anything that's going to, like detail work, lighting, electrics, that type of stuff can be done anytime. But we got to lift shit and move it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to do all that in winter the best we can. All right, this next one is an article by Luke Winkie at Vox. And the headline is, "Can a haunted house even scare us in 2021?" And,
this is a really in-depth article that I think is worth reading.
It's worth reading because you get the opinion. Okay, I do not agree with Winkie.
That's fine.
I want to be 100% clear on this. I do not agree with him. And I found the tone of the article through and through to be very dismissive of haunted attractions broadly.
Yeah. Well, and he mentioned that he hadn't been to one since he was in high school. So I'm not sure how he wound up with this story.
And how he ended up writing like a 1,000-word piece on it. Yeah. It's a lengthy article. It's not.
It is.
Small.
No.
Yeah, it's a rough read. He visited Blood Manor, New York City, and he talks about being way more scared of COVID than the haunt. And the thing is, I get that. Okay, yeah. I understand that because that's why we didn't go to haunts in 2021 and 2020 was because we were worried about COVID,
right? And
we were not so much fearful for ourselves. We're both young. Our medical conditions are such that we're not likely to have serious issue. And now we're fully vaccinated and boosted. So we're rip-roaring ready to go. I mean, we're as tuned up as we can be.
Yeah.
The problem is we don't want to get it and then give it to someone who is vulnerable. And especially at the beginning of COVID, we had regular contact with some very, very potentially vulnerable people. Elderly neighbors. Things like that. And unfortunately, one of the neighbors I was primarily thinking of passed away during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Does not appear to have been because of COVID, though, but she passed away. But, we were like, we couldn't give it to Ms. Marie. I would never live with myself if I gave it to Ms. Marie and she died from it.
Right.
And so we have, older neighbors, people with immunity issues, things like that. So I get it. I get that fear. And that's why we didn't go, because we knew that niggle would be in our brain the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would hurt our ability to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So we didn't go. And because it's not fair to us, we can't enjoy the show fully.
Right.
And it's not fair to the haunt, because they're not getting the fair opportunity
Yeah.
that they deserve.
Yeah. Now, one thing that he said that I did like was that it was a momentary return to normalcy, to be in line at a haunt and feel the excitement and the trepidation as you're getting ready to go in. You know, I did like that.
Yeah.
That, you know, that haunted houses equal return to normalcy. It's nice.
And he did a great job describing that feeling that I think everyone who goes to haunts gets, because it doesn't matter how many haunted attractions you've been through. It doesn't matter how many times you've been through that one.
No.
When you're in that line, you don't know what's about to happen.
Right.
You have no idea what you're stepping into. And there's that feeling of, what did I do? What did I get myself into? Am I ready for this?
The little tingles.
And yeah, okay, I've been through hundreds of haunts. I'm fucking ready. I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure I'm ready. But I still get it.
Yeah, I do too. And it's really easy to trip on me, apparently.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a good thing. And I really do love that. But basically, though, when he gets to the part where he's talking about his trip through the haunt, it just kind of feels condescending to me.
Yeah. Well, he did say that he was happy to be around people even if they were dressed as monsters.
Yeah, and that was like one of the things was there was one paragraph where he talked about, like, you know, I wasn't scared by the evil witch or the bug-eyed clown or whatever. I was scared that this was going to be a super spreader event.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's why we didn't go. You know?
If you're that worried still, just don't go.
Please don't. And I understand. You know, I'm on your side. Even though things seem to be winding down now, and like I said, super vax boosted and all that, I'm still thinking we're just one gamma variant away from starting all this shit over. And I hope that doesn't happen, but I'm scared it could.
Yeah.
Anyways, next article.
All right. This is another uplifting one.
Yes.
The adults with developmental disabilities re-energized with creation of haunted house. This is from Robert Boyd at ABC Action News in St. Petersburg, Florida. PARC, which stands for Providing Advocacy and Recognizing Capabilities.
PARC, not PARK.
PARC.
Yeah, not like parking a car. It's PARC, sorry.
Yeah. So, Providing Advocacy and Recognizing Capabilities. It's a center that worked with the residents to create a spooky haunted house, including building props, choosing costumes, creating actor areas and their lines. And this one's one that you need to watch the video.
Yeah.
You need to watch the video to see the excitement that went into this build.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of excitement and pride, and it shows.
And they did a good job from what I could see.
Yeah, it like warmed my heart to see, and it was really sweet.
It's a really sweet article, and it talks about, and I think there's a lesson here for haunted attractions and how we can incorporate people with developmental disabilities on our teams.
Mm-hmm. And differently abled people. Yeah,
and the people with differently abled and whatnot. Because, yeah, it works. And they made it work, even though literally the entire crew had developmental disabilities pretty much.
Yeah.
And so they made it work, and they put on a pretty kick-ass haunt from the looks of it. Mm-hmm. They had a good time with it. So, yeah, why can't, quote-unquote, normal or regular haunts incorporate people of different abilities and different, mentally and physical abilities? Why can't we can incorporate them?
And a lot do try to.
A lot do try, yes.
Yeah.
And I think one of the barriers is that people in those situations often don't want to try to work with a haunt because they're worried about the potential outcomes. And that's something we have to kind of try to reach across the gap on.
Well, and you also have to, pair people up who are good working together.
Yeah. I know. I do love the story. And I definitely, if I'm ever in St. Petersburg and they're still doing this, I'm going to have to check this haunt out because it looks like a lot of fun and it's a great cause. Mm-hmm. Okay, next up in Chandler, Arizona, this article is brought to you by Elliot Polikoff at AZ Family, which, but basically, the Chandler community comes together to repair a haunted house maze. A gentleman there named Alan Muskop has a long history there of running a haunted attraction and maze in his yard and his garage, basically. A small haunted house with a fairly large maze from the looks of it.
Yeah, it started out in his garage, and then it grew into this giant maze thing that goes throughout the backyard.
It was closed for 2020 for the
Mhm.
reasons so many other haunts were closed. I'm getting
Yeah.
into that. But he was wanting to put a really good one last stand at the very least this year.
Yeah.
And so he put it up, and then just about a week before opening,
Mhm.
the entire damn thing was knocked over by some high winds.
Yeah. Which is, must have been some really strong winds.
I don't know what the weather was like in Arizona at that time.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine those must have been some mighty gusts.
Yeah.
And in a desert area, you can get some pretty high winds
yeah.
because you got nothing to break up the wind and prevent it from
Right. Yeah.
from just building up steam, so to speak. So it makes a lot of sense. Like how we can get high wind here, we're very flat too. So
Yeah.
same problem.
Mm-hmm.
He originally was just going to say, "Screw it, I'm done."
Right.
But the neighbors reached out to him and said, "Hey, no, you have to do it. Come on, the neighbor would look forward to it. Please get it up."
Mm-hmm.
And they managed to motivate him to rebuild it.
Yeah. He had to basically take it down and put it back up with less time than he did the first time.
Which sucks.
It does.
I mean, okay, I'll say this. Having had several projects go like that,
Yeah.
the second time is easier.
It is.
Because you know what the fuck you're doing.
Mhm.
We usually joke around here that, like when we were building the yard display this year with the PVC pipe for the
Yeah.
rooms, what we say pretty much every year is when we have to build 5 of something, for example, for the haunt,
Mm-hmm.
we'll get good at it on the 5th one.
Yeah. Exactly.
The 5th one, we're like, we got this. We could build 100 more in an hour now, but we don't need to.
Yeah.
We spent the past 3 hours sucking on the first floor.
Yep.
We got the 5th one nailed. We could crank these out super fast now,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just no more to build.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but yeah, having done it once before is helpful. But yeah, it still sucks.
Yeah.
Now he says that this is going to be his last year of the maze.
Right.
His neighbors aren't taking that for an answer.
No.
This is kind of the opposite of the home haunt story we're used to hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
The haunter's like, please let me shut it down. Neighbors are like, no, you can't stop.
Yeah. Well, and the neighbors have said that they see what joy it brings to Alan and
And the neighborhood broadly.
yeah. So they don't think he'll stop because they think that after a year off he'll do it. He's done it this year and he'll be re-energized to do it.
How many times in the 15 years we've been doing Bernie Baxter have we said we're not doing it next year?
Every year.
I think every year each of us have said it
Yeah.
at least once.
Yeah.
Often and usually multiple times.
Yeah.
Because something goes wrong, something bad happens. Fuck it, why do I do this to myself? I don't have to do this. I could be inside drinking beer and watching movies. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be building this crap. I don't have to be doing this. And yeah, so we always get in that mood at least a few times. And then every year, the haunt happens and does well. And then it's just like we never entertain that notion of stopping from November 1st
No.
all the way until haunt builds in full swing.
Mm-hmm.
And then by that I mean the timed haunt build. It's usually because like when the work we do in December actually goes really smooth in part because we don't have a time crunch.
Yeah. And it's not hot.
And it's not hot. So basically anything we don't get done in December, we'll just say we'll push that back and get done later. It's not like in September and October where there's nowhere to push it back to.
Right.
And you're feeling that your feet to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, hotter than hell. Because for some reason Louisiana decides to be in the fucking 80s at Halloween. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about either. But it's true.
All right,
this
moving.
year was a little cooler, which was
Well,
nice.
a little bit, but still, what the hell, Louisiana? Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
All right, so our next story is from Danielle Harling at House Beautiful, and this is a weird one. Zillow, the place to go and see what homes in your area
Mm-hmm.
are,
Or for sale and
for
get little virtual
sale
tours and shit.
see what your property value is and all that. They created an interactive virtual haunted house tour, and it's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah. It takes the form of a YouTube video.
Yeah.
About a 2-minute YouTube video, 2.5 minutes
Yeah.
or so. And it features the house at 667
Yes.
Dead End Drive. And the house even has its own homepage on Zillow.
Right.
And I do love the price for it. I don't know if you noticed. The prices can't give it away.
Which is pretty damn funny. But, I mean, when you watch the video, you can tell that they went to a haunted house to film this thing.
Yeah, they definitely went to a haunted attraction somewhere and filmed this, probably with some of the haunt actors.
Yeah.
And they did an amazing job. This clearly was a labor of love. And the fact it has as few views as it does, it only has like 20-something thousand views.
Yeah.
It's way, way viewed. It's too great. But no, it's a great video, well done, good production, and it is genuinely creepy and unsettling. Now, it's fast-paced. It's only a 2-minute video, and it is literally a tour, or structured like a tour of about a 6,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
So it moves pretty bam, 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 bam. You know, it moves. So it doesn't build up a lot of tension, but it is genuinely creepy and unsettling. They have some great shots. And like I said, the effects are such that, you know, it looks like it could have been a regular, like one of the higher end found footage films, not like the original Blair Witch, like when the paranormal what was that series?
Don't remember.
I don't remember now. I'm just drawing a blank on it. I was just watching, so I just had some of those on. Oh my god. But yeah, some of those higher budget found footage films that came after Blair Witch, because everyone saw that Blair Witch made like $18 billion on a $3 budget.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we can do that.
Yeah.
And started throwing money at it and just realizing that was not a concept that had like
legs.
It was not going to fund a whole new genre. It was a neat idea. I'm not actually a Blair Witch fan. I never liked the movie personally. I
don't know that I've ever seen it.
I have trouble watching it because it is so shaky. It's nauseating.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I've actually seen the whole thing. Is the other part. I know I've seen the end, and I know I've seen the beginning, and I know I've seen some of the middle. But I don't know if I've seen the whole thing, and a lot of it's just because, for me, it's hard to watch, and you know, between my GI issues and everything else, and my inner ear problems, maybe that's just not the type of cinema I should.
Yeah.
You know. So, anyways, no, but it's very, very cool, and I definitely recommend checking it out. It's a lot of fun, and it's such a simple joke, but it was neat.
Yeah, it gave me that little feeling that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of that.
They did a really good job with it. I was because like when you sent me this article, because you found this one, I was like, fucking Zillow?
I know, exactly.
What the fuck is Zillow gonna do, man?
I think the next one might be even weirder.
Oh, it's definitely weirder, but I don't think it was nearly as scary or as effective.
Probably not.
As the goddamn Zillow. Seriously, go check out the Zillow video. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We'll end it on that note. And then I'll just say the most ridiculous sentence I think I've ever uttered in my life. Wendy's, i.e. the restaurant, treats Jacksonville to haunted, quote-unquote, House of Fright, Fright spelled F-R-Y-G-H-T, pop-up event.
Yes.
Did I get that about right?
Yeah.
This article is by the unfortunate Carrie Ann Luter at the News 4 Jackson. It takes place, of course, in Jacksonville, Georgia. Basically what happened... Florida, sorry. Oh, no, there's not Jacksonville, Georgia I'm aware of. Jacksonville, Florida. But anyways, basically, the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars and AEW, I might add, Daly's Place, has a baseball grounds on the property. So, like, in connection, like, in that space, Wendy's set up what was described as a quote-unquote immersive walkthrough experience parodying eras of horror films and the names of cold and soggy fried disappointment.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm fucking saying these things.
I know. It's like, it sounds so bad.
I'm sitting here drinking beer, and I'm sure more brain cells are dying from reading this fucking copy than the alcohol.
I know.
Guests may see a mad king, encounter a creepy clown, and spot a haunting jack-o'-lantern as they make their way through the experience. The event was free because of course it fucking was. And open to all ages. And you got free fries and Frosties for going through.
Yes. And Frosties...
Okay, now you sold me.
Frosties is what I associate with Wendy's at Halloween, because you get the little books.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the little Frosties the rest of however long they last.
Yeah, we way back when, we haven't done it in a while.
No.
We used to go and buy several of those 10-cent Frosty books or whatever, free Frosty books. There was like 10 Frosties for $1.
Yeah.
And so we'd buy a bunch of the books and just keep them in the glove box of the car. We never...
Exactly.
You're supposed to give them the trick-or-treaters. Fuck that shit. They're ours, man. You can't tell me what to do with my fucking coupons, man.
No.
I give those bastards candy. They don't shut the fuck up.
They don't want to get Frosties later.
Here you go, Junior. You get a Frosty later. Oh, geez, thanks, mister.
No.
No, that never happened.
No, Frosties are for me.
No. Buy like a 5-pack of them, eat them into the glove box.
Yeah.
Because they're good. They were good up until like November of the next year.
Yeah.
Because every time you stop by a Wendy's, you pull it out and get a free Frosty.
Exactly.
That's how you fucking use them. I don't know anyone that ever gave them the trick-or-treaters.
I think that'd be so sad for trick-or-treaters.
There's a little piece of paper that I promise you can turn into a Frosty at some point down the road.
Yeah, but the other thing is that if fast food places are going to do this, Wendy's is not the one I would pick to go first.
No, the Burger King is way creepier.
No, Jack.
Oh, yeah, well...
From Jack in the Box. I mean, he has pictures of himself with his head doing normal everyday things, and that is not normal.
Yeah, Jack from Jack in the Box is fucking creepy. Yeah, he's... him and the Burger King...
This would be a fun episode to just dive into this.
For very different reasons, are like... Because, like Jack is the serial killer.
Yes.
Like, he's more of the traditional, like, Ted Bundy... Or, you know what I mean? Like an actual, like, I'm sure there's got to be a fucking true crime episode about Jack, you know?
Yeah.
And all the shit he's done. Like, he is like the A&E horror special thing.
Yeah.
Where meanwhile, I think the Burger King is more of the classic Mike Myers.
Well, yeah, because he shows up in people's bedrooms and wakes them up to go get breakfast.
Yeah, and he's probably unfucking killable. I mean, has anyone tried killing the Burger King? I'm just saying.
We are not saying to do that. But
I'm saying to do that. Fuck that.
Anybody...
Get on one steak. Go for it.
You're very murderous today.
I just had to read the line, an immersive walkthrough experience parodying eras of haunted horror films in the name of cold and soggy fried disappointment. You're lucky there isn't already a body count, Crystal.
Is this like a hell house for fast food?
The dangers of obesity. Woo!
No, the getting the fries cold if you go to our competitors.
Oh, Lordy Jesus Christ. I'm gonna fucking die here. What the fuck are we talking about? Take the next. I got the next story anyway.
All right.
I had to read that shit. I get a vacation now.
Okay, so this next story is from Elena Holland of WZZM13.
I swear to God, that's the actual name of it.
Yep. In Comstock Park, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
A woman has turned her house into a haunted fairy tale display for Halloween. And her name is Jennifer Donahue. And she makes almost all of the sculptures and decor. This is another one where you really have to watch the video.
As much as you should definitely watch the other video we talked about, other videos we talked about, this one really, we can't sell this one correctly.
Yeah, exactly. So this is her 13th year doing it. She raises money for the Humane Society. But the reason that she made the news so much this year is that she created a new dragon named Serpentina that was in the top 5 for a local art prize. And now it's part of the display in her front yard. So that got extra people to come over and see it. They transform a very plain ranch-style house, according to her, into this magical wonderland.
Yeah, and it's very impressive to look at.
It is. If you know the vines, if you've ever been to City Museum in St. Louis, mm-hmm. the vines and things that are there outside are kind of like what they cover the house in.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
And she says that she spends 20 hours every week, 52 weeks a year, working on this stuff.
Yeah, changing it into Storybrooke Hollow. I want to know where she stores it all.
Yeah, that's my next question.
That's my question. It's like, where does this go?
Yeah, this is a lot of stuff, and it's very, very nice, and she's clearly a very talented artist. She says that she does most of the sculpting, and the designing, and the planning. Mm-hmm. Her husband helps with, like, the metalworking, like building some of the frames.
Right.
Apparently he has a workshop on site. There might be a hint where they store some of this stuff.
Yeah.
He got property big enough to have a metal workshop. Hint, hint, that might be a key there, right?
Yeah.
And he also helps with some of the carpentry and framing. So it sounds like a very cool husband and wife team, but she's definitely the mastermind of it.
Yeah.
By all accounts. And and it was really nice to see a female haunter given that first and foremost treatment.
Right.
You don't see that enough, I don't think. And I know in our experience, even when we go in 50-50 on the news or whatever, they tend to steer it to me, and it's always uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because especially when like a lot of stuff they're asking me, but like, no, that's what she does.
Yeah.
Please don't talk to me about the detailing. She does that.
Yeah.
She goes out there and listens to her Disney Villains CD and...
Yeah. Exactly.
And then the room's now detailed. I don't know what the fuck happens between A and B.
Magic.
So, it's like... Yeah, it's uncomfortable as hell in that regard. Mm-hmm. So it was really nice to see a local news outlet doing that and giving the push where it was deserved.
Yeah.
All right, this one's an interesting one. Steens, Mississippi, which is a town I did not know existed until today.
Yes, this is our last one.
Yeah, this is an article by Slim Smith at The Dispatch. Just The Dispatch, that's the name of the paper. Mm-hmm. Once a small hayride, haunted house event Steens now draws visitors from all over North Mississippi. Interesting fact, I looked up where this place was, and it turns out it is literally 200 feet from the Mississippi-Alabama state line. Like, you can't zoom in far enough to get the state line out of the shot.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy. Like, the map has like the full 3D of it and all that, and you're looking at it. The state line's still right there. The attraction is called Haunted Hicks and the Sticks, which I'm going to say, if you're going to include the word hick in your name, go for the pun. Go for the rhyme. I agree. The Haunted Hicks and the Sticks Hayride and Haunted House started as basically a small thing for kids in the neighborhood. It was a traditional tractor pulling a wagon, and basically they would pull into a barn, and then adults would jump out and scare the kids.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, that is the easiest actor pitch I think you could ever have in your life. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to drive your kids into a barn, and you want to scare the shit out of them?
Yeah. Because we know from doing this that parents are horrible people.
Dude, if you don't have 100 parents lined up after that pitch, you're doing something wrong. But now it's much bigger. There's a $10 admission fee, but now includes a half-mile hayride, disembarking at the graveyard, and they follow the route to the first haunted house. From there, it's back on the hayride to the bottom of the hill, where they set out again on foot to the main haunted house. Mm-hmm. Along the walking route, there are 8 scenes visitors encounter, each involving some kind of scare feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 2 haunted houses, a walking trail, and 2 rides.
This sounds a lot like Waterloo to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very curious now about it.
Yeah, and it's in our radius. We can theoretically go.
Yeah.
We might want to get a map of the area, but like download it onto our phone before we head out.
Yeah, they did say that people are waiting up to 3 hours to get in.
Jesus Murphy.
But they have like a carnival type atmosphere where they show movies and have snacks and for while you wait.
Yeah, and my advice, if they're having that kind of a wait time, I hate to say, I don't know how you increase throughput with a hayride, especially without just adding more, hay. Right?
Well, they went from 1 to 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long, long wait time. But at least it sounds like they're trying to make it so that it's as enjoyable as possible. Some of the proceeds of it do go to upkeep of the property, which sounds perfectly reasonable. Mm-hmm. But most of it is given back to the community. It now has approximately 50 volunteers. Yeah. I'm amazed we have not heard of this place given its proximity to us.
Right, yeah, me too.
I mean, I'm just doing a quick map here to see how long it is from here. Mm-hmm. It would be, drumroll please, 4.5 hours.
Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, we've done longer for haunts. And if we don't do a major haunt, because it's in like the north part of Mississippi, so it'd be mostly north for us.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be basically going up 59 like we did when we went to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's a neat thing though, and like I said, I'm surprised I haven't heard of this, but given its extreme ruralness, it's not entirely a shock.
No.
So yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun, and like I said, it's good to see small and independent haunts and rural haunts doing well.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all the news we have this week. We're just about out of time.
Mm-hmm.
So please do take a moment, if you have not done so already, find us at hauntweekly.com or hauntweekly on Twitter. Give us a follow there. You can also follow us at facebook.com/hauntweekly. youtube.com/hauntweekly is the YouTube channel. And definitely add us to your Spotify, your Google Play, your iTunes, your Apple Podcasts, whatever the hell it is these days. Wherever you get your podcast, please take a moment and add us. We greatly appreciate you following along.
Mm-hmm.
But until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And we will see you all next week with more Haunted Attraction content. Looking forward to it.